Part 33. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 346. When they arrived at the place where the desert giant was, everyone watched it together. This is. Usopp said in shock. I saw a huge pit where the desert giant was just now. The explosion just now actually created a large crater with a diameter of more than meters here. The pit is not very deep. But there are also tens of meters. But Crocodile and the desert giant disappeared without a trace. The desert giant was destroyed, there was no doubt about it. But is Crocodile really dead? Have we eliminated him? Zoro said, looking at the huge sand pit. I'm afraid it's hard to say, Roger said worriedly. Although the explosion just now was powerful, whether it really eliminated Crocodile can be said to be inconclusive. After all, Crocodile can elementalize the body. And here is the desert again. Crocodile can be said to be invincible when fighting in the desert. Crocodile's ability to survive in the desert is extremely strong. That's awesome. Is Crocodile dead? Luffy asked. It would be a miracle if he survived, Sanji said. In fact, everyone felt that even with such a powerful attack power, it couldn't really put Crocodile to death. Sanji was just speaking out from everyone's heart. Now everyone is thinking about how Crocodile hid. I have to admit, you guys are really awesome. Crocodile's voice came from the desert. Crocodile is not dead after all. Rogue, Zoro and Sanji observed the surrounding desert. Ace and Smoker look around. Suddenly, a huge sand dune protruded from under everyone's feet. This huge sand dune keeps getting bigger and bigger. Everyone was bounced away by the sand dunes. What? Sanji said. The dunes are getting taller and bigger. Everyone distanced themselves from the sand dune and saw that the sand dune was getting bigger and bigger. Finally the sand dune becomes like a hill. This is. Usopp looked at the dune in surprise. It's unbelievable, Sanji said. The dunes are becoming more and more like a human head. That's Crocodile. The volume of the dunes is tens of meters high. Crocodile's head is the same as the head of the desert giant that was destroyed earlier. Only now without a body. This huge crocodile-like head opens its mouth. It seems that you are really far beyond my imagination. You forced me to this point. Now I want you to taste my ultimate ability to surpass myself. Crocodile's voice kept roaring. The desert giant was destroyed by you. But I don't plan to create it again. Now I use the ability beyond myself, the desert body. Crocodile said angrily. Desert one body. Rog and the others looked at the dune in shock. The gigantic crocodile face on the dunes continued to speak. Yes, my body is completely one with the desert land. What you see now is just my simulated head. But you can destroy it as much as you want. This desert land is my body. Crocodile introduces his ability to transcend himself, desert embody. Rog and Sauron also knew the meaning of desert conformity. That is to say, this desert land is Crocodile, and Crocodile is this desert land. If so, then everyone around is in danger. Before, even the desert giant could judge the direction of its attack. Now Crocodile can strike from anywhere. Ace saw that Crocodile hadn't been wiped out, although that was to be expected. But Crocodile is so arrogant. Ace was furious. He stepped forward and gathered his right fist into flames again. Asshole! Ace punched out again, and a huge flaming fist flew over. The huge flaming fist hit the sand dune like Crocodile's head. Boom! A violent explosion occurred, blasting the dune into a cloud of dust. Ace looked at dust angrily. But he also knew that Crocodile could not be eliminated like this. Ace! Luffy rushed over and said to Ace. Ace looked at Luffy and said, it's because I have no ability to defeat Crocodile. Don't be afraid. Just knock him into the air. Let's all come together, Luffy said. Yes, we can't be discouraged, Chopper said at this time. Suddenly, the desert land under everyone's feet trembled again. There was also a burst of laughter. Ah ha 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 ha, you actually want to defeat me. Crocodile's voice came from beneath the earth. After the tremor ended, a group of small sand dunes rising suddenly appeared from around the crowd. This is... Sanji looked around cautiously. It's those things, Zoro said, holding the katana tightly in his hand. Hundreds of small sand dunes appeared around them, rising and gradually forming a human-shaped outline. Outlines eventually became clearer and clearer, transformed into a group of burly sand spear warriors. We are surrounded. Chopper looked around in surprise. Crocodile used his abilities to create hundreds of spear warriors from the desert land. After the spear warriors took shape, they waved their spears again and roared angrily. These wild warriors, who looked like humans, but were not considered humans, had the aura of beasts. They waved spears and wanted to attack everyone at any time. Now you are just a bunch of bugs on my body. I can take care of you at will. Let's deal with these spear warriors first. Crocodile's voice came out from the desert land below. Ow oh oh. The spear warriors roared wildly. Seeing these spear warriors, Rog said, let's fight together. Zoro waved his samurai sword and said, I'm tired of fighting big guys, so I just want to play with these guys. Sanji moved his ankle. Although he had suffered some injuries just now, his fighting spirit was still high. Okay, let these guys try my legs and feet, Sanji said. We can fight these guys again, Luffy said excitedly. No matter how much, I'll burn you all, Ace said. Crocodile is really not bothered by the war of attrition, Smoker said, clenching the 10 hands in his hand. I didn't perform well just now I want to fight to my heart's content, Hina said. I also want to fight like a man. Chopper's reindeer form is full of fighting will. Captain Usopp, Gilug, is going to kill you all too. Usopp nervously tightened his slingshot and said. Crocodile will definitely fail, said the Ninja King. Magic can punish you monsters that the sand turns into, said the goddess of the spring. Although everyone has gone through the previous battle, their fighting spirit is high. This is not just a confrontation of strength, but also a confrontation of will. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee Er. A Dream. Chapter 347. Hundreds of spear warriors formed from sand swung their spears and attacked the group of people. Ow oh oh. The spear warriors swung their spears and stabbed Sauron. The swordsman couldn't wait long ago. Zoro waved Yukino and Kitoru with both arms tightly held, and the word Hedeo was tightly held in his mouth. Three-sword style. Ghost slaying. Sauron crossed his arms and slashed, while his body rushed forward. A warrior with a spear was slashed to pieces in the face, and then crumbled into sand. Two more spear warriors charged towards Sauron brandishing their spears. Sauron turned around this time. Double sword style. Rhino Hui. The two samurai swords held tightly in both arms slashed to the sides. The heads of two spear warriors were severed. The body of the spear warrior who lost his head quickly crumbled into sand. Sauron beheaded 3 spear warriors in one breath, and then another 5 spear warriors rushed over. 5 spears stabbed at Sauron fiercely. Sauron jumped up quickly. Then quickly swung the katana and slashed the spear samurai. While Sauron was fighting fiercely, Rog also fought fiercely with the spear warriors. Rog swung the iron birch sword with his right arm and slashed at a spear warrior. Puff. The spear warrior had his head chopped off. The rest of the body quickly disintegrated into sand. Another spear warrior brandished a spear and stabbed Rog. Chong. The spear pierced Rog's breastplate. But the spear just left some scratches on Rog's walnut-heavy armor. Rog quickly aimed the spear warrior with the stake air cannon on his left arm. Up to the west. The stake air cannon on Rog's left arm fired a powerful stream of air. The blast of air hit the spear warrior on the head. Boom. Under the violent explosion, the spear warrior's head was blown to pieces. The entire spear warrior's body quickly disintegrated, turning back into sand. Chopper also showed strong attack power during the battle. Chopper ate the Rambo ball. Corner strengthening. Chopper climbed down like a reindeer. His pair of reindeer antlers grow exaggeratedly. With these reindeer horns as the vanguard, Chopper runs fiercely. The reindeer horns knocked the spear warriors down one by one. Seeing the momentum, Usopp quickly jumped on Chopper's back. Captain Usopp and War Deer Chopper attacked together. Usopp yelled excitedly. Chopper knocked countless spear warriors into the air while charging. Usopp wasn't idle either. He shouted cheering slogans while using various weapons. Must kill. 3 consecutive flame stars. Usopp fired 3 incendiary bullets made of gunpowder one after another. All 3 projectiles hit the spear warrior's head. Although these projectiles are small, they have been strengthened by Usopp. Each shot is as powerful as a grenade. Boom 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 boom. Accompanied by 3 explosions. The heads of the 3 spear warriors were blown to pieces. The bodies of the spear warriors who received the fatal blow collapsed into sand. Seeing his perfect result, Usopp laughed happily. Ha ha ha, this is Captain Usopp's marksman skills, Usopp said, patting his chest. Luffy is alive and kicking like a monkey. He jumped up and punched the 4 spear warriors below. Rubber. Machine gun. Luffy's fists hit hard. More than 10 punches were aimed at the 4 spear warriors. Each spear warrior was hit in the head by several consecutive punches. The heads of the 4 spear warriors were smashed, and their bodies collapsed into sand. Sanji used his leg skills to the fullest. After Sanji killed more than a dozen spear warriors in a row, he jumped up again and fell from a high altitude. Skewers. Sanji's left leg rotated parallel to the ground. The right leg spins like a drill. Sanji's body finally hit a spear warrior heavily. Sanji's spinning right leg smashed the spear warrior into sand. On the battlefield at this time, Colonel Hina is also fighting hard. She is also very powerful with her fists and kicks. Colonel Hina smashed the head of a spear warrior with one blow and kick. The spear warrior quickly disintegrated into a pile of sand. Black gun. Hina stretched out a black spear from her arm. She wields a spear as a weapon and fights fiercely with the spear warriors. Sanji looked at Hina during the battle. The pink-haired Navy sister's attack is really powerful. Sanji said lovingly. At this moment, suddenly a spear warrior attacked from behind Sanji. Sanji dodges quickly, and then smashes the spear warrior's head with a side kick. Sanji then continued to observe Colonel Hina's battle. Although attracted by beautiful women, Sanji still maintained his vigilance in fighting. The king of ninja moves among the spear warriors like a ghost. Whenever the spear warriors assassinate, they are always dodged by the ninja king. The ninja king escaped a few shurikens with his hand from the bag at his waist. Explosive shuriken. The ninja king threw out explosive shurikens one after another. The exploding shuriken hit the spear samurai in the head. There were bursts of rumbling explosions, and the heads of the spear warriors were blown to pieces. The bodies of these spear warriors collapsed into sand. The king of ninja also took off the ninja sword from his back. From time to time, he gave the opponent a knife in the neck during the operation. Under the attack of the ninja king, the spear warriors were wiped out in large numbers. The goddess of spring water even showed great strength. With magic, the goddess of springs wiped out the spear warriors in droves. The nymph raised her silver axe. Mouthed the ancient incantation for a while. Ice formed around the silver axe. Ice. 10,000 swords. With the silver axe as the center, dozens of ice swords like ice cones were shot out. The ice swords hit the spear warriors in groups. The bodies of the spear warriors were quickly frozen into ice after being hit. Ace used his fire fist to aim at dozens of charging spear warriors and hit them with one punch. Fire punch. Ace blasted the spear warriors with angry fire fists. Dozens of spear warriors were wiped out with a single punch. After Smoker's body turned into smoke, he flexibly attacked these spear warriors with his fists and feet. In addition to everyone fighting bravely on the ground, Bell and Wei in the sky also lowered their altitude. Vivi on Bell's back aimed a shoulder-mounted cannon at the spear warrior and opened fire. Boom boom boom. The shells hit the spear warriors on the ground and blasted them into sand. Under the attack of everyone, hundreds of spear warriors were also quickly wiped out, completely turning back into sand. Under the powerful attack, hundreds of spear warriors are simply not enough for everyone to fight. This is just to consume some of the physical strength of everyone. The desert land soon became quiet again. At this time, Crocodile's voice sounded again on the desert land. You are very powerful, but I will scare you right away. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 348. After Crocodile's voice finished, the ground below shook for a moment. What's going on? Usopp said, looking around. Rog looked at the shaking desert land under his feet and said, we are fighting the desert now. The enemy that everyone is facing now, Crocodile, is integrated with the issued desert land. It can be said that everyone is now fighting the desert. The desert earth shook constantly. Finally, suddenly 4 huge arms protruded from the desert land. These arms attacked the crowd. Each arm is enough to crush a cow. Oh my god, these big hands, Usopp yelled. These 4 huge arms grabbed everyone. Ace jumped up first, his body turned into flames and rushed towards a huge arm. Boom! Ace's body collided with the huge arm. During the explosion, flames and dust were flying. Ace's body flew over the huge destroyed arm like a dragon. One of the 4 huge arms was destroyed. Zoro quickly rushed toward a giant arm. Zoro just clenched a samurai sword this time, and he held the Japanese word for the way with both hands. The blade of the samurai sword was aimed at the huge arm that was hitting in front. Itaryu. Iai. Lion Song. Sauron's body had already jumped over the huge arm with lightning. His word Hideo has been inserted back into the scabbard. The huge arm broke off in half and fell down. There are also 2 giant arms, one of which Rogue rushes towards. Smoker rushed to the other. Rogue rushed to a huge arm, first using the staked air cannon on his left arm to concentrate amazing power. Emission. Rogue aimed the staked air cannon on his left arm at the half of the huge arm, shooting out an astonishing stream of air. The powerful airflow hit the half of the huge arm like a cannonball. A violent explosion occurred, and the half of the huge arm was severely damaged. After Rogue finished using the wooden pile air cannon, he used the iron birch sword on his right arm to slash towards the halfway. The huge arm broke off, and then quickly turned into sand and scattered in the desert below. The third huge arm was destroyed. Smoker quickly tackled the last giant arm. The last huge arm came towards Smoker. Smoker was hit in the body but quickly elementalized. Then he returned to human form on the arm. Smoker stood on an arm formed by a huge sand. He quickly grows in size. Smoker's body became even bigger, and finally became a full 10 meters high, shaped like a fetish of white smoke. White smoke. God. The white smoke god transformed by Smoker swung his fist at the arm formed by the huge sand and punched it. Boom. Under Smoker's blow, the arm formed by the huge sand was broken. This arm was also destroyed. Crocodile's 4 huge arms protruding from the desert land below were all destroyed. Usopp, Chopper, and Luffy all looked at Smoker. I didn't expect that he would have such a powerful ability, Usopp said in shock. You're so handsome, Chopper said with eyes shining. Wow, Smoke Man has transformed, Luffy said excitedly. When the four arms formed by the huge sand were all destroyed, the desert land below made another burst of sound. It's not over yet. The next ones are tougher. Crocodile's voice came from the desert land below. The desert land below was violently shaken again. Then suddenly a huge python stretched out from beneath the desert earth. This is a giant boa constrictor made entirely of sand. The boa constrictor is lifelike, even its teeth and tongue are extremely lifelike. Seeing the huge python, Usopp was terrified. "Wow, I'm afraid of snakes," Usopp said tremblingly. The huge boa constrictor opened its mouth wide and made a sound. As long as one bite is enough to swallow people. The giant python quickly rushed towards Usopp and Chopper. At this moment, Sauron rushed over from the side, and his hands quickly turned into double knives. Eagle wave. Sauron slashed with two swords and released two sword energy. Two sword chi flew towards the giant python. Just when the sword energy was about to hit the giant python stopped suddenly. At this time, two sword chi hit the giant python's body. But there was a harsh grinding sound. It was as if Sauron's sword energy had struck the steel. The Ninja King also took the opportunity to attack quickly. He threw out 3 exploding shurikens and hit the giant python. Boom 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 boom. The explosive shuriken exploded violently 3 times. But the giant python is still motionless, and its body has not been damaged. At least not visibly damaged. Rog took advantage of this time to replenish the power of the stake air cannon on his left arm. Boom! A powerful air stream shot out from the stake air cannon. This powerful airflow hit the giant python. The giant python still didn't suffer much damage. Damn it, this guy. Luffy also rushed to attack, attacking the python with his fist. But after a while of fist attacks, the giant python was still made of steel. The giant python then resumed its activity and continued to try to attack Usopp and the others. At this time, an ice ball flew over and hit the python. It was the goddess of the fountain who used the magic attack. The giant python was attacked and frozen into a giant ice snake. At this time, Rog and Sauron attacked together. The samurai sword in Sauron's hand and the iron birch sword in Rog's hand cut down the ice snake together. Chong! An ear-piercing sound sounded. Neither Sauron's katana nor Rog's iron birch sword cut off the ice snake, but instead only shattered the ice cubes from the giant python. The giant python roared for a while, and then it moved again and quickly changed its attack direction, attacking Sauron. At this time, Zoro pointed the 2 samurai swords at the front sharply, and then stabbed in quick succession. Bull needle. Sauron stabbed quickly with 2 knives, hitting the attacking giant python. The giant python was resisted by the powerful attack. Sauron took the opportunity to jump away. The spring goddess in the distance looked at the giant python formed from the sand in shock. "How is that possible?" said the spring goddess. Rog quickly gathered huge power in the wooden pile air cannon. Roger aimed the stake air cannon at the python. Another bang. The giant python's body was hit hard by the airflow. When this blow hit the giant python's body also froze. Roger observed this, and understood the problem of this giant python formed from sand. This giant python made of sand cannot become rigid while moving. But he can remain motionless, and his body becomes as hard as steel. Only in this way can defense be carried out. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 349. It turned out to be like this, Roger said. Now I have discovered the weakness of the giant python. Although the opponent is crocodile created from sand, similar creatures can soften their bodies and move, but if they want to strengthen their body defenses, they must keep their bodies still. In this case, the giant python can be said to have many weaknesses. Rog first held the iron birch sword tightly and then slashed at the giant python. Chong! With an ear-piercing sound, the iron birch sword slashed heavily at the giant python's body. At this time, the python's body also became as hard as steel. Of course, the python's body also stopped. Rog deliberately stopped attacking and got behind the python. But the stake air cannon on Rog's left arm has accumulated a lot of energy. The giant python resumed its activities again. It's now. The staked air cannon on Rog's left arm fired rapidly. Before the giant python became as hard as steel again, it hit the giant python's head. This cannon is powerful. Boom. Under the violent explosion, the python's head was blown apart. The body of the giant python also turned into sand. Rog was also a little surprised that he actually succeeded. Pythons are formed from sand and can become as hard as steel. But once it moves, it is about the same hardness as ordinary animals. In this case, one attack is enough to destroy the python. It was actually eliminated, Rog said with some surprise. Good job, Rogue, Usopp shouted happily. After successfully eradicating the giant python. In the desert land below, Crocodile's voice came out again. Okay, you won't be able to catch the more attacks coming next. The desert ground under everyone's feet trembled for a while. Then there were 3 behemoths protruding from the desert below. These are 3 huge monsters that resemble beasts. 3 huge monsters quickly took shape, and then turned into 3 huge scorpions. Each scorpion is 30 meters long and very huge. Seeing these scorpions made of sand, Ace was gearing up. Okay, leave it to me. Ace stepped forward to fight. 3 huge scorpions rushed over when they saw Ace. Ace didn't evade, and directly mobilized the power in his body. With Ace as the center, circles of flames burned around him. Finally the flames began to burn upward. Seeing this scene, Rog and the others hurriedly distanced themselves. Finally the flames around Ace formed a giant fireball. Ace held up the fireball like Vulcan held up a small sun. Fire ring. Great Flame Emperor. Ace threw the small sun with a diameter of tens of meters towards the 3 huge scorpions. The little sun hit the scorpions. Boom. An earth-shattering explosion sounded today, and 3 scorpions were blown into dust in the astonishing explosion. Even the surrounding desert was blasted into a big hole. Ace looked forward, the enemy had already been wiped out. For these enemies, Ace does nothing else and directly uses the most powerful attack. Crocodile's attacks were thwarted one after another. Okay, try this. If you can hold it, you will be invincible. The voice of Crocodile in the desert below sounded again. Immediately afterwards, a huge object protruded from the desert. This object is nothing but a huge scorpion needle similar to Crocodile's left arm. It is a giant pirate hook made of sand. No way, Zoro was a little surprised when he saw it. He actually used this kind of thing to fight, Rog said in confusion. Crocodile actually created a huge weapon similar to a scorpion needle. If you can deal with my giant scorpion needle, you have won. Crocodile's voice came from the desert. The giant scorpion venom needle created by Crocodile is 5 meters in diameter. And it's also connected to the desert below. Can fly on sand and dust. That hook is strong enough to hook an elephant. Crocodile's giant scorpion needle begins to fly. This huge weapon flew towards Ace first. When the giant scorpion poison needle approached Ace, Ace's body quickly turned into flames and avoided the attack. Ace is able to dodge attacks elementally, others are not so good. The giant scorpion needle flew towards Luffy. Seeing that the situation was not good, Luffy ran for his life quickly. It's scary. Luffy ran desperately. Although Luffy is a rubber man, he is afraid of spiked weapons. Although Rubber is not afraid of projectile weapons and hand-to-hand combat, it is extremely afraid of spiked weapons. The giant scorpion venomous needle chased after him. Luffy kept running away, but the giant scorpion needle quickly caught up. Seeing that something was not going well, Rog quickly used the stake air cannon to accumulate energy. After aiming the stake air cannon at the giant scorpion stinger, Rog opened fire. A powerful airflow shot at the giant scorpion poison needle. Boom! After the giant scorpion stinger was hit, there was a piercing explosion. But the giant scorpion venom needle did not damage at all. "Damn it, there's no damage," Rog said. Sauron quickly rushed to the giant scorpion stinger. Sauron held the word Hedeo tightly in his hand. Itaru. Iai. Lion Song. Sauron's body passed the giant scorpion stinger like lightning. A mark was cut on the giant scorpion poison needle. But it recovered quickly. Sauron looked at the flying giant scorpion poison needle and said, "It's really hard." Sauron's strongest slash with all his strength was enough to sever steel, but it could only injure this giant scorpion stinger. The scorpion venom quickly recovered again. The giant scorpion stinger is simply indestructible. Ace saw this and flew over quickly. For Ace, Luffy is his sworn brother who is closer than his blood relatives. He wants to protect Luffy from being hurt no matter what. Ace gathered a lot of flames in his arms. These flames solidify into strength. God Fire. Shiranui. Ace threw out two long spears formed by solidified flames with both arms. The flame spear stabbed the giant scorpion poison needle. But after injuring the giant scorpion poisonous needle, this large weapon quickly recovered. Ace quickly gathered all his strength again. His arms gathered amazing flames. The body also becomes like a flying flame. God of Fire. Ace's body transformed into a giant flame-like form. Like a Vulcan with huge fuzzy arms. The original human form is basically invisible. The flame Vulcan quickly grabbed the giant scorpion poisonous needle. In this case, the giant scorpion venom needle couldn't break free. The flames on Ace's incarnation, the flame Vulcan, became more and more intense. The flames scorched everything, even the giant scorpion poison needle. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 350. The giant scorpion venom needle was melted by the high temperature of the flame, and finally turned into a liquid. Even sand can turn into liquid at high temperatures. After the giant scorpion stinger turned into liquid, it fell to the desert land below. Ace transforms back into a human form from a giant flaming Vulcan. Ace used this extremely powerful ability to forcibly melt the giant scorpion needle. After successfully destroying the giant stinger, Ace looked at Luffy. Luffy looked at Ace and shouted, "Ace is so handsome." Ace also smiled helplessly. Luffy really doesn't know what danger is. The giant scorpion venom just now could indeed kill him. As soon as the danger was lifted, Luffy started to jump around again. However, Ace's powerful ability just now shocked everyone on the battlefield. Crocodile was also shocked. Being one with the desert land, he couldn't believe that his giant scorpion stinger would be destroyed like this. Ace looked at the surrounding desert land again. "Okay, Crocodile. You said that as long as you defeat your giant scorpion needle, we will win," Ace said. After a long time, a sound came from the desert land. "Indeed, you have exceeded my expectations. But I am with the desert land. If you cannot defeat the desert, then you cannot defeat me. Human beings will disappear with time. But the desert is eternal." Crocodile's confident voice sounded. Whether it's Ace, Smoker, Luffy or Sanji, they all feel something in this voice. It can be clearly heard. That's fatigue. Although Crocodile's voice is still calm and confident. But there is a kind of exhaustion from long-term battles. No matter how strong the strong are, there is a limit. Crocodile is now one with the desert land. But does this mean there is no consumption? It can even be judged that the consumption is extremely high. Controlling the desert land of several square kilometers requires great consumption. Smoker and Ace naturally thought of this too. This time it was Ace who took the initiative to say to Smoker, "Okay, let's do it again." "No problem," Smoker said. Both of them gathered the strength in their bodies. God of Fire. White Smoke. God. A cloud of flames rose into the sky, and a cloud of smoke rose into the sky. A god of fire made of huge flames, a god made of white smoke. Two natural devil fruit users transformed into two gods. Li Yan Vulcan and white mist gather strength together. The two flew together. Everyone leave quickly. Ace's voice came from Li Yan Vulcan. Rog, Sanji, and others also left quickly. In the sky, the god of flame Vulcan and the god of white mist each gathered amazing power. Ace and Smoke gathered almost all the strength in their bodies. Wrath of Vulcan. White Smoke. Fit. All the powers of Ace and Smoker are combined. A huge spiral of mixed energy capable of destroying dozens of warships formed. The huge flames and white smoke are handed over above. The two confront each other and merge with each other. Huge power really fell from the sky like a god. This force directed downwards vertically, hitting the desert land below. The power runs through the desert land, constantly penetrating the land. The surrounding desert land for several kilometers trembled violently. There seemed to be a wail of pain for a while. Under this powerful force, an astonishing light was produced. A column of energy that alternately rotates with flames and smoke descending from the sky eclipses everything around it. Cobra, who was in front of the ancient pyramid, saw this astonishing sight and said in shock, "It's really a power like a god." Bell and Wai Wei in the sky saw this incomparably powerful force. "It's so powerful, it's better now." Wai Wei was shocked at first and then happy. Because such a powerful force can defeat Crocodile. Bell's eagle eyes can see more clearly, and now many details of this power can be seen clearly. It's such a powerful force that's rare in the world, Bell sighed. The ability users of the natural devil fruit are very powerful, and the combination of Smoker and Ace is really as powerful as a god. If Crocodile is an evil god entrenched in the desert, then Smoker and Ace are the gods of justice who can punish him. The powerful fusion of fire and smoke penetrated the desert land. Crocodile, who was integrated with the desert land, was in extreme pain, and the tremor of the desert land was actually Crocodile being severely injured. The combined attack of Li Yan Vulcan and White Smoke God in the sky is finally over. Finally there was an astonishing tremor and explosion in the desert land below. The shock wave stirred up astonishing amounts of sand and dust almost within several kilometers of the desert land. Rog and Sanji, who were standing in the distance, all saw this earth-shattering scene. It is more shocking than the desert giant before. The raging flame Vulcan and white smoke gods in the sky began to dissipate, returning to their original human size. Ace and Smoker began to descend. The two people fell to the ground below like a dying flame and a very thin smoke. As soon as they fell to the ground, Ace and Smoker saw the admiration in everyone's eyes. "It seems that we have succeeded," Ace said with a strong smile. "Even Crocodile can't dodge this blow," Smoker said. No one would deny this now. If Crocodile is in the same body as the desert land, then the blow just now was a blow to the desert land. But suddenly Ace half kneeled on the ground suddenly. Ace said with some pain. "Ace, what's wrong with you?" Luffy quickly stepped forward to help Ace. Ace held Luffy's hand and said, "Good brother, don't worry about me. I'm just a little tired." Although Smoker didn't feel any obvious discomfort, his face was still trembling. He was clearly holding on. "Okay, let's go to rest quickly," Hina said. Ace and Smoker are not trying to be brave anymore, and they also need to rest. The attack just now actually consumed all the strength in their bodies. At this time, Usopp suddenly discovered that there was still movement in this desert land. "What is that?" Usopp said, pointing to a location. Everyone saw a small desert storm spinning at that location. And this little desert storm keeps moving over. This small desert storm finally took shape and became a human being. It was Crocodile. Ace and Smoker also looked at him. "He actually survived," Ace said. "But at least he was badly wounded," Smoker said. Rog, Sanji, and Usopp looked at Crocodile together. I saw Crocodile looking very tired. His face was still gloomy, but his eyes were extremely tired. That momentum has been severely weakened. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 351. Although Crocodile is powerful, after such a long period of consumption, he has become very tired. The previous continuous battles, as well as the use of desert giants and desert congeners, had seriously consumed Crocodile's power. Coupled with the fact that he received a blow with the full power of Smoker and Ace, Crocodile had already consumed most of his power. You are really powerful, Crocodile said a little tiredly. After a long period of fighting, Crocodile has suffered extremely serious consumption. If he continues to fight now, he may not be able to take advantage of it. Ace and Smoker looked to Crocodile. You are really strong, Ace said. But you should be running low, said Smoker. Crocodile does not deny either. Indeed, I don't have much strength left now. But you two can't fight anymore, Crocodile said. Ace and Smoker grimaced. Indeed, both of them were exhausted and could not continue to fight. In this case, only Rog and Sanji can fight Crocodile. Roger and Sanji have been watching Crocodile seriously. Okay, leave it to us, Rog said. Sanji also said, okay, let's fight this guy to the end. Yes, leave it to us, Luffy also said. My samurai sword also needs to show its strength, Zoro also said. Even Usopp, who has always been passive, mustered up his courage and said boldly, Crocodile, let's fight. Chopper also plucked up his courage and said, let's fight. The Spring Goddess and the Ninja King looked at Crocodile with disgust. For them, being forced to serve Crocodile and Baroque Studios was an extremely shameful thing. Now they can finally avenge their shame. Although Colonel Hina didn't say a word, her eyes also showed that she was going to fight hard. Ace and Smoker looked at everyone. Now is not the time to be brave. Moreover, it may be killed by Crocodile on the hard surface. Leave it to everyone, Ace said. Be careful, Smoker said. The two then backed away. In the early stages of this battle, the two people also contributed most of their efforts. The rest is for Rog and the others to fight hard. Rog and Sanji stood up bravely and looked at Crocodile with the same hatred. Come on, Crocodile. Everyone said together. Everyone's face is filled with that strong will to fight. Full of confidence to defeat powerful enemies. Crocodile's face became more gloomy when he saw the crowd full of fighting spirit. Okay, I'll let you die without a place to bury you, Crocodile said gloomily. After a fierce battle, only % of Crocodile's strength remained. But even so, Crocodile still decided to fight. Now there is no way out for Crocodile. He decided to destroy his opponent and finally revive Pluto. For Crocodile, all enemies blocking the way must be eliminated without mercy. Crocodile waved his right arm, and he concentrated his power on it. Desert Diamond Sword. The sand on Crocodile's right arm melted, and a huge knife that could kill a horse appeared. Of course, it is still similar to the style of the Desert Scimitar, but it is even bigger. Crocodile brandished the Desert King Kong sword and rushed towards the crowd. Rog threw away the stake air cannon on his left arm, and held the iron birch sword tightly with both arms to face it. Rog's great iron birch sword collided fiercely with the Desert Diamond sword. Chong! Two heavy sharp blades met violently. After the separation, there was another period of hand-over fighting. Chiang 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 chiang. Crocodile and Rog were in a stalemate. The fierce battle between the two was even close for a while. Crocodile is not very good at hand-to-hand combat. After consecutive battles, Crocodile couldn't bear it. After all, he didn't want to spend any more. Okay, let you try this. Desert sunflower. Crocodile suddenly activated his ability on the desert land where Rog was in front. Roger felt a tremor under his feet. Then the feet began to sink. Rog felt like quicksand under his feet. And it's not just near Rog, a huge disc-shaped quicksand area that sinks down is formed within a range of about tens of meters. In this quicksand area, Rog couldn't pull out his body at all. Okay, kid. You know the power of the desert sunflower, right? It is to create a quicksand area and let people sink into it. This is your grave, Crocodile said gloomily and proudly. Even if Crocodile cannot continue to use the desert giant to fight with the desert one body, it can still make people feel desperate. This is the strength of the careerists who want to revive Pluto. Oops, Rog was trying hard all over his body but couldn't pull it out. Instead, it continued to sink downward. When Rog lost his combat power, Luffy rushed over. Pounce on Crocodile. Rubber. Bazooka. Luffy struck Crocodile with both hands. Crocodile's body suddenly elementalized and turned into flying sand. Luffy slammed his hands into the air. Luffy rushed over quickly, and then attacked fiercely again. Rubber. Machine gun. Luffy punched more than 10 times with both fists, but they were all empty. Crocodile's body turned into sand is still able to recover. Luffy attacked desperately, but still couldn't hurt Crocodile. After Crocodile's body turned into sand, he continued to recover. Usopp saw that Luffy's fight was ineffective, so he quickly aimed the slingshot at Crocodile. Then he pulled the slingshot and fired a projectile. Launch, Usopp said. The projectile was ejected by the slingshot and hit Crocodile. After Crocodile's body was hit, the projectile split apart. This projectile contains nothing but water. What? Crocodile was suddenly shocked. Water covered Crocodile's head. At this moment, Luffy's fist hit. Boom. Luffy's punch hit Crocodile in the head, and the whole person flew out. Crocodile rolled several times on the desert before stopping. Luffy also stopped attacking and looked at his fist. Wow, I actually hit it, Luffy said happily. Crocodile stood up and touched the water on his face. Humph, Crocodile said. The moisture on his face disappeared quickly, and this rustling fruit ability user was able to absorb the moisture dry. Luffy attacked again, but this time it was not as good as the last time, and this time the attack failed. Crocodile's body turned into sand again and escaped the attack. What's going on? Luffy said in surprise. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 352. After Crocodile regained his human form this time, he was behind Luffy, and the scorpion needle he swung on his left arm aimed at Luffy and stabbed him. The scorpion poison needle stabbed Luffy in the back. What? Luffy cried out in pain. Oops, Sanji said urgently. Usopp was even more anxious. The water bullet he used just now was the only trial product. There are no other liquid weapons. Rog was still struggling among the desert sunflowers, but now he saw the tragic scene of Luffy being killed. Abominable Rog felt that he was now in an extreme dilemma. Now he is wearing walnut-heavy armor on his body. On the contrary, it made the body become heavier and accelerated into quicksand. There was no other way. Rog used the plant fruit power in his body to lift the walnut-heavy armor. Rog, who had regained his light clothes, quickly searched for plant weapons from his clothes. Finally found a pea. This pea is unusual, it has been modified by Rog's ability to plant fruit for a long time. Okay, come on Yalong Wandu. Rog quickly infused this pea with a large amount of plant fruit power. The peas were buried in the sand below. Quickly the peas began to grow. Pick up Rog, who is sinking in the quicksand. The peas grew thicker and thicker, as thick as a human leg. And it also acts like a swimming dragon. Under Rog's control, Yalong Wandu began to rush towards Crocodile. Crocodile dodged violently from the impact. Rog took this opportunity to manipulate Yalong P to grab Luffy and leave quickly. Good danger. Rog controlled the Dragon P to bring himself and Luffy to a safe area. Luffy's back was injured, but he gritted his teeth. "Damn it, I'm going to beat him up," Luffy said. At this moment, the King of Ninjas stepped forward and approached Crocodile with his ghostly footwork. Explosive Shuriken. The Ninja King throws 4 exploding shurikens in a row. The explosive shuriken hit Crocodile and exploded for a while. Boom 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 boom. After a while of explosion, Crocodile's body recovered like flying sand. Rog looked at Crocodile, and Crocodile could not be hurt without water. But suddenly Rog's eyes glanced at the Goddess of Springs. The Goddess of Spring Water used various powerful magics before, and the 3 axes each had 3 kinds of magic. The golden axe is fire, the silver axe is ice, and the iron axe is wind. It is the silver axe. "I have an idea," Roger said. Rog quickly rushed towards the fountain goddess. Rushing to the spring goddess, Rog said, "Fountain goddess, now I have a way to defeat Crocodile. But I need your help." Upon hearing this, the Goddess of Spring Water immediately said, "Okay, since it is to defeat Crocodile, then I will not hesitate. Please tell me, Rog." Roger said, "Please use magic to create a large block of ice." After hearing this, the Goddess of Spring Water said, "Okay." The Goddess of the Spring used a silver axe and whispered an ancient spell. Frost, then snow, and then ice appeared around the silver axe. The Goddess of the Fountain concentrated a great deal of magical power into the silver axe. Then a puck is shot. The puck hits the desert above. The puck then exploded, creating a block of ice the size of a house. Roger was very happy to see the ice cubes. "That's good, let's add new functions to our weapons," Rog said to the others. Sanji and the others were a little confused. Roger pointed to the huge ice cube, and continued, "Ice cubes are also water. Just melt the ice cubes and attach them to weapons to fight Crocodile." Usopp said, "It turned out to be like this. It's really good." Chopper said in surprise, "You are so smart to think so." The Ninja King looked at the ice cubes and said, "If you want to use them, you need to turn these ice cubes into some water." The Ninja King quickly approached the ice and jumped on top of it. He took out a bottle of liquid from his waist pack and poured the liquid over the ice cubes. Stab! The Ninja King then ignited the liquid, and the ice cubes quickly burned. The ice cube is partially burned. But the Ninja King controls the amount of burning liquid. So this big ice cube is only partly melted. The whole big ice cube is like a huge bowl. The outside is still the part turned into ice, and the inside is water. "That's great," Roger praised. Zoro looked at the Ninja King and said, "Is your brain quite easy to use?" Zoro couldn't wait any longer. He went to the ice first, and soaked the 3 samurai swords in the water. In this way, all 3 katana swords can kill Crocodile that turned into sand. The King of Ninjas also quickly reached the ice, soaking not only the ninja sword, but also hidden weapons such as kunao and shuriken. Sanji also rushed to the ice and soaked his feet in it. Roger also went to the ice cube and took out a bamboo from his clothes. Kinkan bamboo spear. Rog infuses the power of plant fruits into bamboo. The bamboo grew rapidly and turned into a 2-meter sharp bamboo gun. Rog also soaked the Kinkan bamboo spear into the water. "I'm coming!" Luffy rushed over. He didn't soak anything. Instead, the whole person jumped into the water inside the ice cube. The whole person is soaked, so that Luffy can fight as a whole. After finishing the soaking, everyone was gearing up to fight with weapons in hand. "Okay, kill Crocodile." Everyone rushed towards Crocodile together. Sauron rushed to Crocodile first, and he swung Yukasu and Kitoru to charge Crocodile. Rhinoceros. Sauron spun around, slashing at Crocodile with 2 knives. Crocodile's body suddenly elementalized and turned into sand. But after Sauron's blade came into contact with Crocodile, he successfully slashed the opponent's entity. What? Crocodile was stabbed twice and his body rolled out. The injured crocodile hurriedly stood up hard. At this moment, suddenly a ghostly figure came from behind him. A ninja knife hit Crocodile in the back. This knife is the same as Sauron's, it is full of water, and cuts Crocodile directly. The wounded crocodile trembled in pain for a while. But before it was over, a figure kicked over from in front of him. First meet. Sanji kicked Crocodile in the head. This foot is also covered with water, and Crocodile's body elementalization is useless at all. In addition, Luffy also rushed over. Rubber. Machine gun. Luffy hit Crocodile for more than 10 consecutive punches this time. Crocodile was beaten black and blue. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 353. Rog brandished the Kinkin bamboo spear from the side and aimed at the heart of Crocodile's body, killing him with one shot. Crocodile quickly blocked with the scorpion poison needle on his left arm. This caused Rog's assassination to deviate from the direction, and the assassination hit Crocodile's ribs. A crocodile roared in pain. Although Crocodile urgently avoided being fatally injured but also hurt. Roger's attack worked. Even those with natural devil fruit abilities have obvious weaknesses. Although natural devil fruit ability users can turn their bodies into elements, they are also very afraid of the substances that restrain them. Just like sand is afraid of water, Crocodile is also very afraid of water. Although he can make full use of the surrounding natural environment to enhance himself in the desert land. But here he will also be hurt if he is stained with water. If it rains, Crocodile will completely lose its fighting power. Crocodile, who has suffered a great loss now, also discovered the reason why Rog's attack had water. It turns out that you use water as a tool to assist in combat, Crocodile said. He turned his head towards the magnificent ancient pyramid. It is the middlemost one among the three ancient pyramids. In this open desert area, his advantage gradually disappeared, and he had to see the ancient weapon Pluto no matter what. According to what Cobra said before, Pluto is under the pyramid. Then there may be some huge secret palaces and other spaces under the ancient pyramid. There was no way to stay in a stalemate here. Crocodile decided to enter the ancient pyramid to find out. Crocodile stopped consuming it, and his body suddenly turned into sand. Then a dust storm formed. The sandstorm was very fast and headed towards the ancient pyramids. This is. Rog said. Not only Rog, but everyone else was blown away by the sandstorm. The sandstorm incarnated by Crocodile blows away those who stand in the way, heading towards the ancient pyramid. The dust storm moved towards the middlemost of the three ancient pyramids. Cobra, Jaka, and the elite cavalry of the king's army who were guarding the ancient pyramid saw the sandstorm moving towards them. What's going on? Jaka said in surprise. Crocodile rushed here directly, Cobra said in surprise. None of them thought that Crocodile would rush over directly. Just as Cobra and the others were shocked. Nami saw the sandstorm approaching. Oh my god, how could this happen? Run away quickly, Nami whispered. Nami quickly escaped from here on a horse. The sandstorm transformed by Crocodile is constantly approaching. Gaka stood in front of Crocodile. Your Majesty, be careful. Gaka quickly began to change. His body quickly grew from a human form to a huge one, and he was on all fours. Finally, he transformed into a black jackal comparable to an elephant. After Joker transformed into a jackal in beast form, he stood in front of Cobra. He issued an order at the same time and said, "Okay, fight Crocodile with all your strength." Obey. The elite cavalry of the king's army shouted. Despite facing a strong enemy, the elite cavalry of the king's army are fighting with high spirits. The villain who made Alabasta howling everywhere is in sight. The hatred of the country and the family made these elite cavalrymen of the king's army share the same hatred. The sandstorm that crocodile transformed into accelerated its approach. The shoulder-mounted artillery and rifles carried by the cavalry of the king's army were aimed at the sandstorm. Bang 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 bang. Boom 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 boom. The bullets and shells hit the sandstorm densely. The sandstorm was concentrated by intensive firepower, but it still continued to move forward. It seems to be a bottomless pit, absorbing all the firepower of the attack. What a bunch of idiots! Crocodile's voice echoed in the sandstorm. The sandstorm swirled and flew into the king's army. Immediately, the hordes of king's army were thrown away. What? There were bursts of screams. Crocodile quickly broke through the defense line of the king's cavalry. Finally, Jaka rushed over and blocked the front of the sandstorm. "I won't let you in, Crocodile," Jaka growled. "This gigantic jackal blocks the entrance to an ancient pyramid. Less in the way." Crocodile's voice roared in the sandstorm. "Ow!" Jaka growled lowly. "Like the god of death in hell." The sandstorm that Crocodile turned into quickly swept over. Jaka was unable to attack the opponent, but just slammed the sandstorm violently for a while. This powerful and almost immortal body couldn't hurt Crocodile. The sandstorm swept over Jaka, and then reached the gate of the ancient pyramid. At the gate of the ancient pyramid, the sandstorm finally stopped. And turned into a human form. After Crocodile became human, he stood at the door of the ancient pyramid. "No one can stop me," Crocodile said. He took a step and walked in. Crocodile entered the ancient pyramid. After Crocodile entered the ancient pyramid, Jaka suddenly turned around and saw that the other party had succeeded. "Damn it," Jaka said. At this time, Rog and the others also arrived. Jaka saw Rog and Sanji and said, "It's late, Crocodile is already inside." "Okay, let's go in," Rog said. "Okay, let's go in and have a look," Luffy said. "We must stop him," said the Ninja King. "Keep him down," Sanji said. "Otherwise, this world will be over," Sauron said. "We must not let him succeed," said the goddess of spring water. The six of them quickly rushed into the passage of the pyramid together. Usopp, Chopper, and others were waiting outside. Seeing Rog and the others disappearing into the passage of the ancient pyramid, Usopp said, "Well, Captain Usopp thinks it should be guarded outside." "I also think this is good," Chopper said. Jaka and Cobra are also waiting outside, they are all expecting Rog and the others to win. "Young people, you must win," Cobra said with a serious face. In the ancient pyramid, Crocodile came in first and went all the way to a central hall. Here is an ancient hall with nothing in it. There are only some ancient murals and sculptures around. Looking around, Crocodile looked at the ground under his feet again. Since it is under the palace, there must be an entrance. But I have no intention of looking for it. What Crocodile needs now is time, and there is no time to find the entrance. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 354. Crocodile squatted down and pressed his right arm on the bricks below. The power in his body was focused on his right arm. Cracked ground. Crocodile began to absorb the moisture contained in the masonry below. Everything in the world contains water, but the content is different. Even masonry contains moisture in it. If it is completely sucked dry, it will turn into sand. Crocodile's right palm frantically absorbed the moisture in the masonry below. Immediately afterwards, there was a burst of harsh masonry rubbing and cracking sounds. The masonry below began to crumble. The ancient masonry was not damaged after countless years, but it cracked quickly after Crocodile absorbed the moisture. The cracks are getting bigger and bigger. The masonry below was quickly covered with cracks. These cracks caused the masonry to change from large blocks to small blocks. However, this is not over. Crocodile has strengthened his water absorption. The cycle of erosion. The strength in crocodile's right arm further strengthened. More moisture was sucked out of the already cracked masonry. The moisture in these masonry is completely sucked dry. Then it started to turn into a bunch of sand. At the same time, crocodile's absorption range continued to increase, and spread toward the masonry deep below. Along with the bricks and stones are sucked dry. The lower part also trembled like an earthquake. Suddenly the masonry below began to crumble. The bricks and stones were mixed with sand and stones and collapsed downward. Crocodile's body turned into sand, and the flight descended slowly. After the masonry below collapsed, I saw a huge bottomless cave. Is this cave really leading to hell? Crocodile looked down with some anticipation. The cave below is more than 20 meters in diameter, leading to the unfathomable underground. But Crocodile is very fond of darkness. After his body turned into sand, he continued to descend. It has been descending towards the deep place where the ancient mysterious weapons are buried. I don't know how long it has been. Crocodile finally reached a deeper underground space. However, there is no light here. It's so dark, then I also need to find a way. Crocodile tried hard to observe his surroundings with his senses. Although Crocodile did not really grasp the domineering in the domineering, he was able to observe the surroundings more keenly. Knowledge-colored domineering is a kind of domineering. It can make people look at 6 directions and listen to all directions. Anticipate the environment and the actions of the enemy. Crocodile came close, though not really mastered. Use your senses to focus and observe. Crocodile also felt that there was a platform nearby, that is, below. Here you can find something like an ancient mechanism. Crocodile landed, turned back into human form and stood on the platform below. But at this time Crocodile can still feel that the platform is very small, surrounded by unfathomable places. But there seems to be a ladder ahead. But there is also a statue-like thing on the platform. Is this an institution? Crocodile touched the statue tentatively. After touching for a while, the statue began to turn. Then there was a clicking sound in the darkness. After the statue rotated, at the same time, flames began to burn on the statue in the huge underground space. Under the illumination of the flames, it can be clearly seen that the statue is a person dressed in a strange shape. Like some kind of sculpture of ancient people. Not just sculptures, but rows of flames appeared one after another in the distance in the underground space. Crocodile saw rows of flames burning hundreds of meters away. This huge underground space is also quickly illuminated. Now Crocodile can see his surroundings clearly. This platform is only about 10 meters, and it is a square. There is a statue in the center, which is the mechanism just touched. In front of the platform, there is a very long staircase leading to the bottom. On the ground floor of the underground space further below and further forward, a huge object made of black metal was placed there. When Crocodile's eyes caught sight of the huge black object, he was stunned. Crocodile's whole body trembled. He had never imagined the spectacular thing in front of him. A very long and huge black object, similar to a ship but not like it. Obviously made of some kind of metal. This huge black ship-like metal object was placed in front. Could this be Hades? Crocodile said tremblingly. The magnificent and huge black ship in front of him, the kind of metal that is still shiny after countless years. This thing can be determined based on countless information, and it is the ancient weapon Pluto that once existed in historical documents. Pluto appeared in front of his eyes, but Crocodile was excited and shocked. He also lacked the courage to despise everything in the past. Only the shock of being shocked by this ancient weapon remained. It took a long time for Crocodile to recover from the shock. He knew what he was going to do. Crocodile stepped forward and walked down the steps on the platform. After walking hundreds of steps, Crocodile finally reached the ground below. Here is where you can get a closer look at Pluto. The body of Pluto in front of him is indeed bigger than the Navy warship. It's several hundred meters long. There are still more than 10 stories high. Pluto's body is made of metal. I don't know how many years these black metals have gone through, but they are still full of luster. This is that powerful ancient force. Ah, I need to hurry. Crocodile stepped forward quickly. Crocodile walked up to Pluto with great respect and admiration. He walked in front of Hades to take a closer look at the behemoth. There are also some machinery similar to gears and hanging towers around Pluto. But how many years have passed, and they are already relatively old and dilapidated. It's not like Pluto has stood the test of time. In front of Pluto, there is also an ancient stone tablet. Crocodile stopped ahead. Crocodile looked at the slate. I saw text written on it. However, there are two versions of these texts. One is an ancient text that he cannot understand at all, and the other is a modern text that everyone in the world can understand. Crocodile only saw the current text. Unleashing its power can destroy the world. This is what the modern script writes. The ancient text contained more content, but Crocodile could not understand it either. Crocodile stayed in front of this ancient stone slab for a long time. Forget it, even if the above is very important, I can't understand it. But I can find a way to resurrect and activate Hades, Crocodile said. Crocodile also walked away from this ancient stone slab. Pirate Plant Fruit. Author, Lee A Dream. Chapter 355. He wants to explore the huge ancient weapon in front of him, Hades. The fame button in front of him looks like a battleship, but it is different from a battleship. The biggest feature is not that this ancient weapon is made of metal. Nor is it huge. Rather, Pluto does not have the masts and decks of a normal ship. Like a fully enclosed battleship. This made Crocodile full of curiosity. As long as I control this ancient weapon, the world will surrender at my feet. Crocodile began to explore the mystery of Hades. Inside the ancient pyramid above. After Rog and his party traveled quickly, they finally passed through the passage and entered a hall. What's going on? Sanji said in surprise. There was a hall ahead, but a huge cave appeared below. The cave is more than 20 meters in diameter. Below are dark, bottomless caverns. Everyone, let's get ready to go down. There is no other choice. Rog looked at the bottomless dark cave and said. Okay, let's get down, Luffy said. But now a difficult problem is placed in front of everyone, and the bottom is bottomless. So going down is actually not easy. The goddess of the fountain saw the problem. Don't worry everyone, I will use magic to help you go down, the goddess of spring water said. Sanji looked at the goddess of spring water, and said kindly, I believe the goddess can find a way. Zoro snorted with some disgust, and was very dismissive of Sanji's way of flattering the goddess of springs. The goddess of spring began to chant the spell softly. Then her body, Sanji, Roger and Luffy's bodies all floated up. The six of them floated above the dark cave together. Looking down from here, it is really bottomless. But all six of them can float in the air. Wow, that's great, Luffy said excitedly. As expected of a goddess, Sanji said. The goddess of springs manipulated the magic, causing the six of them to slowly descend into the dark cave below. While floating, Rog and the others looked at the dark cave below, wondering what it would look like in the dark cave deep below. But since Pluto exists there, I'm afraid it will surprise everyone. The six people continued to descend. The depth of this dark cave is far beyond anyone's imagination. It's so deep, how deep underground will this lead to? Sanji said. It can't be hell, Zoro said. The six descended all the way. But Rog suddenly saw a faint light below. Let's see, what is that? Roger said. Oh, others also looked at it one after another. I saw that there was indeed light under the dark cave. The 6 people continued to descend, and finally they were getting closer and closer to the light below. What appeared to be visible was a platform with flames on it. Seeing this, the goddess of spring focused her energy on preparing to let everyone down. After descending hundreds of meters in total, the 6 of them finally reached the end of the dark cave. The 6 people came out of the dark cave and went to the platform below. Under the influence of magic, the 6 people landed safely on the platform. After landing on the platform, the 6 of them looked around. On this platform there is an ancient humanoid statue with burning flames, surrounded by a very vast underground space. I don't know how such a huge underground space was excavated. There are a lot of flames surrounding the huge underground space. This is... Sanji said, looking around. Wahaha, it's really spectacular, Luffy said excitedly. But it's what really draws everyone's attention. It is a black metal ship. The huge black metal ship is hundreds of meters long, and although it looks like a ship, it does not have the mast and deck of a ship. It looks like a huge black ship that is completely enclosed. What is this? Luffy said in surprise. Could this be? The Ninja King said. Pluto, Sauron said. The giant-like thing in front of him is the legendary ancient weapon Pluto. After seeing this huge monster, Rog sighed and said, it's really a huge monster in ancient times. Sanji looked at Hades, who was black and made entirely of metal. He said, by the way, Crocodile must have come here first. We must pay attention. Rog looked at the flames here again, and said, these flames can't have been burning for so many years. It must be Crocodile who managed to open the mechanism. Right now, the real problem facing everyone is to stop Crocodile. Crocodile arrived here before everyone else. He wanted to find a way to activate Pluto. Once the other party succeeds, the consequences will be unimaginable. Okay, let's investigate this ancient weapon together, Rog said. Let's go, Sanji said. The 6 of them went to Pluto together for an investigation. Rog and the others walked to the front of the platform together, and there were hundreds of steps going down from here. The 6 of them started walking down the stairs together. At the same time, everyone is very concerned about all the movements around them. Crocodile is here after all. Roger and the others continued to move forward, reaching the bottom of hundreds of steps. Going forward from here is the ground where Pluto placed. Roger and the others walked for a while, and arrived in front of Pluto. Before the gigantic Pluto, there was an ancient stone tablet. It is engraved with ancient characters as well as modern characters at the same time. There are many ancient characters, but I can't understand them. The modern text has only one sentence: unleash its power to destroy this world. After seeing this line of text, Rog and the others also understood the terrifying power of Hades. Sanji looked at Hades and said, this is the weapon that can destroy the world. The huge black ancient ship in front of him gave people a feeling of intimidation just from the shape and volume. Rog looked at Hades, wondering how on earth this huge ancient weapon was transported here. At this moment, a terrifying sound suddenly came from above Hades. Ahahaha, you are here too. A sinister but arrogant voice sounded. Both Rog and Sanji could hear clearly, and the owner of this voice was Crocodile. Sure enough, he has already reached Pluto first, Sanji said. Rog was even more worried about the worst. At this time, Crocodile's voice continued to sound. You are too late. Pluto already belongs to me. Crocodile's voice made everyone shudder. What I tried my best to prevent finally came true. Crocodile successfully mastered Hades. This is the worst thing. Crocodile's voice continued to echo. Now, Hades is officially activated. An ancient demon will be resurrected.